Even over these roads, it feels great.
Hey everybody, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube, and in my hands I've got the Marin DSX FS. So that's a little bit of a riddler, but what this bike is, it's a flat bar gravel bike with a little light front suspension on it. So this is the new Suntour GVX front suspension. It's made for a flat bar gravel bike, light duty suspension. It just takes some of the sting out of the ride. So I'm a big fan of this frame. I have this frame on my Marin Gestalt X that I have made really good friends with. I put that bike in some pretty heavy competition. Now I'm using it as a day-to-day drop bar commuter bike, and it's been awesome. So I'm getting ready to take this bike out of the shop. We are in Biloxi Bicycle Works, and we've got a big gravel camp out, bonfire, mountain bike ride coming up over the weekend. So I'm actually going to take this bike as a demo. I'm going to ride it on the gravel roads. I'm going to take it out to the single track, put it to the test, and I'm also going to let several of my friends and fellow bicycle riders take this bike out for a ride too. So I'll be able to give you a good ride review on just what this bike is. Real quick, I'm not going to go into every spec of this bike, but a flat bar gravel bike is something that, you know, people come in the shop asking for all the time because not everybody's comfortable with a drop bar. I'm glad a company like Marin is putting high quality components and mixing it up at a really good price point. So it's about an $1,800 bike. But what you are getting, you're getting, like I said, the new Suntour GFX front suspension that we are going to put to the test. Stay to the end of the video so I can tell you how we like this thing. But so far it's light and it feels good, and you know, a little bit of travel sometimes all you need. It does have a lockout on it. I really love the frame, like I touched base with, and it is a 1x12-speed SLX drivetrain on this bike. So I think that combination around with a 45mm Riddler tire could make just the perfect quiver killer for one bike to do multiple things. And I think that's where this bike is really kind of focused at. It's one bike that can do several things. If you need to do some commuting with this bike, if you want to go play on the gravel roads with this bike, if you want to do light trails with this bike, I think it's going to be good at all those. But we'll find out after we put it through the test. It'll probably never look this clean and shiny again, but at least you guys, my viewers, will able to you know, get a real ride review of just what this bike feels like in multiple situations with multiple users trying it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get any video of us actually using the bike. It's hard to, with one guy, me, it's hard to, and Alana, thank you for holding the camera here for a few minutes, but it's hard to get a lot of ride video, and I know you guys want ride video, so maybe I can film it as someone else is riding it. We'll see. I'm going to dive into that, and we'll see how that goes. So stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll let you guys know just how this thing works. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube, and as I promised, we have the 2022 Marin DSX FS. So we've got it out here. We had a big gravel camp out last night. There was probably 40 or 50 of us out here riding gravel bikes at night, and it was a blast. The DSX did a great job. Now today I promised I'd put it in the hands of several different riders. So I've got a test rider named Josh. I'm going to try to film as Josh rides the bike. But so far the bike's been very impressive. It's a really nice build for a flat bar gravel bike that is good at multiple things, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put it on the famous Ironman Gravel Danny route, which is really a mixed surface route. So we're going to be doing some pavement, some gravel, some climbing. I'm sure this 42 tooth on the front, it's got a Dior SLX on the back. The brakes are good, and we're pushing this GVX suspension fork, gravel suspension fork to the max today. It does have a lockout, so it should be good at the pavement, it should be good at the gravel. And then later on, we're meeting another group over at Bethel, the mountain bike trails, and I'm going to actually put this bike on some single track. So just stay tuned. It's going to be an awesome day of video in doing a video and a test of the DSX FS. And like I said, the DSX has been in Marin's flat bar gravel bike lineup for a little bit. Now they've added the FS. So, you know, having this little front fork on the front end of this bike, I think makes it very capable for multiple situations. And we're going to find out for sure today, so stay tuned. All right, so we're actually out here riding bikes on the gravel. We've got Chris joining us today, and Chris has got a Marin Gestalt X11, X10 that you've been riding for, I guess you've had it almost a year now, huh, Chris? I know you've done several different types of riding on it. It's been a pretty good bike, huh? I know, I love mine. I think I've got 15,000 miles on mine. We do a lot of urban riding, and here we're doing some mixed surface. So we got Josh on the new DSX FS. Sometimes that's a tongue tire for me. So how's it feel so far, Josh?
Good so far.
We're just coming off the paved road, going on to some mixed surface here. That's the new bad boy in town, the DSX FS. As I ride up to the DSX, you can see it has about the same frame as the Gestalt X, which has been a tried and true performer for me and several other people for sure. But I'm glad that they came up with a frame design that allows for tire clearance. I think there's 45s on this bike stock. Kind of a quiver killer. Straight bar and curved bar. Both of them work well. So here's the DSX in action out on the gravel roads. Thanks for trying this bike out for us, Josh. Normally I'm solo and I can't get a picture of it. I do like the rake and trail on that bike. I can tell it's going to be stable. And this is some of the gravel roads we have here in South Mississippi. We've got some beautiful gravel roads. This one's called the Ironman Danny Gravel Loop. So it's easy to find if you go on my Strava. I think I also have it shared the ride spot. And there's a picture of Chris riding the X10. So that X10 has been a performer for sure. So if you like the curved style bar, that's a great bike for it. And if you like more of a flat bar, that's why they came out with the DSX. But all in all, we're just out here enjoying fresh air, good camaraderie, gravel roads, and all these bikes we're riding today perform well. Well, we're out pushing the bikes on the gravel road, and we're taking a little breather because we actually coined this ride as a beginner-friendly gravel ride. So we're kind of waiting up for the rest of the crew to catch us. And I was asking Josh about the bike so far. He said it felt good. We just went down a pretty big hill, and he was happy with the tires on it. He said he wouldn't want any skinnier of a tire because Josh really coming from a road bike background, and he's used to having clips. So since we're using this bike as a demo today, we just have flat pedals on and tennis shoes, so that's got to throw anybody for a loop. But overall, the bike feels good, huh?
Feels very good.
Awesome, Josh. Like $1,700. So yeah, I guess $1,799, $1,800, under $2,000. We were just looking at the gear ranges. So Josh does have a modern 12-speed, and then the Gestalt X10, of course, has a 10-speed. So you're going to have some bigger jumps in the gear range with a 10-speed than with the 12-speed. And Chris, of course, is an athlete, so Chris does a lot of running, and he said he could really use between 3 and 4 having another gear in there. So that's one of the disadvantages of a 10-speed over a 12-speed, but it really takes an athlete to know the difference. So it is nice that the new bike's coming out with a 12-speed and SLX derailleur, which is a little bit odd for a bike, but for a bike that's a quiver killer doing multiple things, it's kind of cool to have a clutch derailleur, 12-speed, room for big tires, flat bar, awesome frame, cool front suspension that we are going to be putting to the test, do a long-term test on it. But definitely not taking anything away from the X10, because I love mine, but it is nice to have 11 or 12 gears sometimes. But it meets a price point, it meets a price point. So that's where, sometimes people are asking about gear ranges, and it's about what you want to spend. And, Chris is a roadie and does multiple things. So, he wanted a bike that was under $2,000 that could do multiple things, and that bike's fitting the bill for it. So
very nicely.
All right, so we're rolling at 21 miles an hour at the moment, and Josh still has a couple gears to go. So anybody that says that this drivetrain isn't fast, this is just rolling. well, you know, it's nice to get out here, and I know you've got a lot of stuff going on, Lauren, but we're just out here kind of admiring some of the places that a bicycle can get you. You know, we're just at a end of a little dirt road here, South Mississippi, but it's beautiful, and it's good fitness. It's fun, and with the right bikes, it's no problem. I wouldn't want to do this on my road bike. I wouldn't want to do it on a hybrid. I mean, you could, but you'd really want to be with a group of people with hybrids. So, but you know, the right bike gets you in cool places. I like these bikes.
Like the extra rings on the back.
Suspension travel. Just looking at the suspension travel here on the Suntour GVX fork that just came out, and Josh has already used, you know, good 30-40 millimeters of suspension, just, you know, soaking up the bumps of the gravel road. So it does work, and it's a air oil coral fork with a lockout, so you can lock it out if you want. But I think Josh is just having fun soaking up the bumps, and it seems pretty efficient. You know, I don't see you losing a lot of energy through it. So, and it doesn't add a lot of weight because the bike's pretty light. So I'll have to weigh it when we get back to the shop, but it's not a heavy bike. Well, all right, well, we just finished a good little mixed surface ride out there around Ironman Danny's gravel loop. And how'd the DSX FS do for you, Josh?
I like it.
Awesome. And Josh, like I said, is coming more off a road bike background. So it's nice when you can get on a gravel bike, a flat bar gravel bike, something you feel comfortable on, and be able to do multiple surfaces. I think it might have been one of your first times riding gravel, huh?
It was.
And it felt pretty stable?
Yes, sir.
Smooth. I mean, it's just nice because you can do so much with a bike like this, as far as, you know, one bike that you could ride gravel. I'm going to take it on light mountain bike trails this afternoon. If you wanted to commute on it, if you wanted to zip through town really quick. I mean, it's just a fun bike for multiple things. So we're going to keep this review going and see what happens. But thanks, Josh, for riding this thing for us, man. We appreciate it. Well, I'm glad Chris brought the X10 out here, because it really does show how similar and different the X10 is from the DSX FS. So really cool bike as well. I think it's almost the same frame. It looks the same. I'll have to check the geometry numbers, but it looks like the same frame, and it's the same frame I have on my X10, which I've really enjoyed. But it was great getting the X10 out there and the DSX on the same gravel ride. So thanks, Chris, for representing, man.
Thank you. It's a good ride.
All right, everybody, we're going to continue the test on the Marin DSX FS. So we're out here now at the mountain bike trail. This is a pretty hardcore trail. I say hardcore because it's not new flow trail. This is old cow trail that was motorcycle trail. So this is the definition of single track back here. This is raw and in the woods. So if any place is a good place to test out, you know, flat bar gravel bike and see how it can do on, you know, real single track, we're gonna go take it back there right now and see what it can do. Our test riders this last night and this morning really loved this bike in multiple conditions. You know, gravel, we did some climbing, we did some descending. We had this bike over 20+ miles an hour. We had it going up, you know, really steep grades on the gravel. It just brought a joy to a lot of people's faces, especially knowing that, you know, with this segment of bike, flat bar gravel bike, that you can do multiple things on this bike. So you don't have to bike several different bikes, and nothing wrong with having multiple bikes. But, you know, if you want one bike that's going to do a lot of things good, I'm not going to say any one thing great, but a lot of things good. You know, so far the Marin DSX FS has proven to be, you know, a winner. So let's go see what it does on single track trails. Thank you.
Man, this bike feels great, even over these roots. It's awesome. Right on my butt, but yet this bike just wants to rip. This thing climbs like a banshee too. Just right up and over anything. This bike just eats up these little roots. It just wants to rip.
All right, let's get out of Scout's way.
This bike is ready to just rip up the roots. Up the hill. And over we go. Up and over the roots. Wouldn't want to do this without the front suspension. Yeah, so anyway, the DXX is really, you know, impressing me on these single track trails. And these are some rooty
single track trails that are full of sand that normally I do not take my gravel bike on. Could be the combination of the flat bar, the mountain bike gear set, the overall geometry that I really like, but it's very, you know, the rake and trail is set up good for stability. So I don't want to call this a full-on mountain bike. But as far as comparing it to my gravel bike, my Specialized Diverge, or my Marin Gestalt X10 that I absolutely love, this bike definitely gives me the confidence to go over these trails much easier. I think a lot of it has to do with this Suntour GVX fork. Really is helping soaking up these bumps. You can see my bump stop here. I am using about 100% of my travel, but it feels good. It's perfect. I love it. We're gonna take a few minutes, go down to the creek, but I just wanted to give my overall impression of this bike out on the single track trails. Thank you. All right, guys, just a quick recap on the Marin DSX FS. Now, this bike has really impressed me over the weekend. You've heard me say it before, but we've did gravel, we've done road, we've done urban, we've done high speed, we've done low speed, we've climbed, we've descended. We just took it out on the Bethel mountain bike trail. So one of the reasons I think this it's a bit of an oddball bike, and why I say that, because we've got a mountain bike gear system, 12-speed drivetrain, we've got a clutch derailleur, 1x system. This is a frame that I've ridden a lot. This is you know, same frame that's on my Gestalt X10, which I've done a lot of gravel racing with, and I use as a commuter. So it works great for all-around road riding, commuting back and forth to work. This bike has a 45C tire, and this is kind of new. This is a Suntour GVX. It's a short travel light suspension, and it really has helped soak up the bumps and roots of the mountain bike system out here. I do not ride the mountain bike trail on my gravel bike. It's harsh. I've got a full suspension mountain bike for that. This bike is good for it. You know, it's not a purpose-built mountain bike, so don't buy it thinking, you know, I'm going to go out and attack every trail. But if you want one bike that does multiple things really well, like I said, it's a little bit of an oddball bike. I really do like the hydraulic disc brakes on it. And this bike comes in at like $1,800. So we're not talking about a bike that's going to break the bank, but it is one bike that does multiple things good. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, it does have the rack mount on it. So if you did want to commute on this bike, you know, ride it to work all week long, then come out and do the trails on the weekend, do the gravel ride, it's one bike that does multiple things good. So I'll go into a deep dive with the overall specs of this bike, but I just wanted to give an overall feeling. Not only did I like it, but everybody I put this bike, you know, put this bike in their hands this weekend, really love this bike. It's not the best bike for any one thing, but it's super great at an all-around do-it-all bike. So think about the Marin DSX FS. If you have any questions, call me up at Biloxi Bicycle Works. You can also hit us up at govvelo.com. So that's us. We're local boys. We're a little bit raw. We're real. We can talk about this bike because we ride this bike. Thanks for hanging with us on the Bicycle Rider YouTube channel. If you like us, hit subscribe. And we'll keep doing a hardcore long-term review on this bike and see how it goes. Thank you.